Lately, I've been spending a lot of time on the cushion, as they say, and making a fire to keep yourself warm when it's 31 degrees Fahrenheit is absolutely a meditative process. When you watch the fire, and this is a very new fire that I just began, we'll gently open so you can see. It's very young, it's very new. I'm sitting here on the cushion, communing with this fire energy. We'll add another piece because it needs some gentle fuel. And we'll close to keep the smoke in and allow it to draft. We have the ash drawer open just a little bit. So just like in any other kind of meditation, there's a process, right? You close your eyes, you sense into your breath, feel perhaps any sensations in your body, and then you're working with whatever is flowing through your mind. Making a fire every day and tending the fire is very similar. And that you need to be observant, you need to watch. You need to leave space in between the logs, called the air gap, to make sure that you can get the oxygen in. So a fire is 3 components. It's fuel in case of wood, but fuel can be other substances as well when you're talking about fire. It requires air to draft through this hole and up, in, and out, the stovepipe, and that's what creates the airflow. And you need a spark, which can be equated with the spark of inspiration. So, when we're sitting in meditative spaces, and meditation can look like many, many things. It does not have to be, just sitting and closing and trying to shut down all the thoughts in your mind, which I have honestly, as a highly sensitive person, felt near to impossible. And I don't like that goal. I want to see what I'm thinking. I want to observe my thoughts and my perceptions of the world. And you can see here, we have a lot of smoke rolling out. So I'm going to close this back and let that air draft, right? We're trying to build a very strong set of coals. And this is the tenuous part at the very beginning of any journey. When we're making a new fire, when we are starting a new relationship, when we are building a new career, whatever it may be, this is the beginning, right? This is just the little bit of flame, the passion, but still we need more fuel. We need more inspiration. We need information. We might need to have mentoring. We might need to study a little bit. And I've definitely been studying fire since I've been here. And it just amazes me how we have, these matches where we can just very easily just strike and get the spark. But our ancient ancestors, and this is the Maya brand of matches here in Mexico, getting that spark was really difficult for ancient ancestors, and the ways and the methods they had to do that. Striking rocks together, spinning wood to make friction. And fire tending was such an important part of that experience. So there were people in the tribe where this was their role, their responsibility, and it was a big one. I mean, you couldn't keep the tribe warm in the winter, you couldn't cook food, so there was definite implications if you could not make this fire. And in the same way, when we sit in our meditative space, whether a meditation for you is tending a wood stove, whether it's working in the garden, walking in nature, doing dance, singing, creating art, writing poetry, whatever that may be for you. There's a lot of very unique ways to do a meditative space, because meditation is really about being observant. It's observant of the thoughts and the feelings and the things that are flowing through our mind and our bodies. And so you see that we have this very, very small spark here, and we still have a lot of smoke. And, sometimes when we create something new, it's difficult to get it started, right? We're struggling to get it started. So I'm going to poke a little bit and see if I can get this roaring here. So you see that the fire started to go out and we have a little bit of smoke still going up. I added some cardboard, some craft paper, a few pieces of kindling. And what happened was I actually tried to add too big of wood too fast. And this is a great metaphor for when we get excited about something and we're going to throw everything at it all at once, but we don't wait. We don't let it kind of accumulate. We don't let it slowly build a foundation of coals. We just try to throw everything on there. And I'm really guilty of this as an Aries. I am just a person who's like, let's do it. Let's get it all done in just 5 minutes. But nothing really worthwhile works that way. You have to take your time. So let me get this match going here. We're going to renovate this fire. I want to show you all the parts, right? I mean, I'm not like an expert. I'm just learning. And I'm going to show you all the parts of what needs to happen in order to make this go. Oop. See, my match won't even light now. And I have all this smoke coming out into the area. See, there's times when we have more smoke than fire, right? It's like people are talking, saying, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do that, but they don't really, or we don't do that, we don't follow through, and there's more smoke than fire. And this is, a time when we can start again. We can say, okay, I'm going to try to renovate this idea. I'm going to continue to work on this. I'm going to initiate a new spark with this. And I'm not going to give up on this project, this relationship, this career choice, this path, this place I'm moving, whatever it may be. And we can actually just put some new fuel in again and light it again. And so this is a great metaphor for continuing to persist, even when things don't work out quite as you thought they would. And now you can see the fire is starting to really climb. And it's getting larger. Catching, I was able to add one more log. There's a lot of smoke in the room. So one of the local people told me to take an old pan like this and to add water. And as it boils, it will absorb the smoke in the room. It will start to clean that up. So we're going to leave that at the back of the stove near the stovepipe so it can get, going very quickly here as we build this fire. You can see we're starting to get a nice bed of coals. You're just moving all of the pieces gently into the center until they begin to break down into red hot charcoal. And you can then slowly add these other pieces bit by bit. Again, leaving those spaces in between to allow for that fire, that air and fire to mix. And we're getting a little smoke, so we'll close it back up. But this shows you how, it just takes time and patience. Like making a proper fire here in this stove probably takes about 30 minutes to go from the initial strike of the match to having giant logs, and you can just walk away. And so there's a commitment to this. There's, a process of seeing it through, of continuing to monitor what's happening, to adding more fuel, to creating more communication. That would be the air energy, right? Communication, messages, showing yourself, perhaps being out in the public a little bit more. And fire energy is about taking action. It's about not only being passionate about what you love, but also following through and making it happen. And so now you see we have a really nice roaring fire. It's starting to feel very warm in here. Yes, it's great. And if we don't want it to burn too fast, we can start to adjust this ashtray in. We want to catch all of the sparks as it is so they don't fall down on the floor. But this is a metaphor for when you get to a certain point in your project, your relationship, your career, that maybe you want to like blaze ahead. but you're not quite ready yet. It's not ready to put the big logs on yet. It's not ready for that level. And so you have to know when to add that extra fuel and when not to. And you really want to build that big bed of coals in there. And you can see how we're starting to do that. It's really beginning to be just a beautiful fire. And the flames are so amazing just to watch. I mean, you could sit here on the cushion, stare into the flames, see all kinds of dancing creatures, animals, whatever it might be, and just lose yourself for a moment in the present, being here, watching this, being amazed by how far we've come as a human species, how far you've come personally, and what's sparking up for you now. And now you can see that the fire is really blazing. There's this beautiful, open the door slowly, beautiful bed of coals. And I just threw this big log on here so you can see that this is going to burn for a long time. We have multiple pieces of fuel all intersecting with each other. And then we kind of go for the large flame, right? We go for that large fire. And whatever this is for you, this took probably a good 30, 45 minutes here with this wood stove. But of course, in our real life, when we're starting something from just the basic spark, we're building it up slowly with bigger and bigger pieces, which could be metaphors for knowledge or wisdom or life experiences we've gained across the way. We can't just throw this giant log on top. It has to be a foundation. There has to be a readiness for this. And so now it is, and it's warm. We have the water heating up on the surface, actually 2 pans, one to catch the smoke and one for our morning drinks. And I just want to let you listen to this. When you get the full blaze, what does this sound like? What does it feel like? So here we go. Here's part of your meditation today. And we're going to slowly begin to close up the ash drawer now to catch what's coming in and to encourage the fire to go down, to slow down. Because now we want to create some time. We didn't spend all this time making something, waiting for the spark to catch, relighting it if it didn't work, as you saw, and slowly putting these pieces into place one by one by one, just to let it burn up quickly. This is something sustainable, something we want for the long term. I want my husband and I to be able to come over here on the couch and sit down and eat breakfast and drink our morning beverage and enjoy and talk about life and politics and activism and weird things that we find on the internet. I don't want to have to keep tending this over and over. So we need to close down some of the air energy and realize, and this could be like the mental energy, for example, in your situation, once you get to this place, there's more stability, right? There's more stability. You've done it. You've created the bed of coals. You've put on the wood that needed to be put. And now it's time to enjoy it. Now it's time to relax. I can go and I can make something yummy to eat. We can pour our beverages. We can have our conversation and start our morning in a way that really resonates with us. So here's your full blaze, my friends. Your full blaze. So here I am back on the cushion again, and you can see that the fire is starting to really die down, just becoming embers. There's still some passion, some flame there. And this stage, and I'm going to close this because we have a little bit of smoke coming in. This stage is when all of the energy that we've spent has really run its course, right? You know, we think that some things are going to be forever, which, we think that some things are going to be forever, like a relationship, a career, a place that we live. And, before we saw the fire in its full passionate expression, and now it's simmering down, and perhaps it's thinking, maybe there's something new for me, something different. And that's a normal and natural cycle. We see it every year as the world, the earth, and wherever you live goes through the seasons. We have the spring with the new growth. That would be the fire when I first started it. We would have the summer, which would equal, the high flame, the passion, all the wood, the giant logs. And now we're into the autumn season, right, where it's gently burning, still providing nice warmth. There's great coals there. But whatever it is that you're doing at this stage, you are wrapping it up. It is starting to die down. And maybe there's some grief about that, and all of that is okay. Or maybe there's relief that finally you are able to complete this chapter and move on to something different that's more affirming for you. It's all okay. As we use this fire energy as the meditation. And let's listen for a moment, just like we did before. So here I am back on the cushion, showing you the finale of the fire, right? The time when whatever we had been building, whatever we'd been holding on to, is now fully exhausted. Every piece of that fuel has been burnt. There's just ashes left. And this is a difficult time because you are at the end of one thing that used to be vitally important to you, and maybe it still feels very important to you. But there is no flame left in this situation. And it's time to let it die out and move on. There's nothing here anymore, just ash. And this is a beautiful, beautiful stage, even though it doesn't feel that great. When something is done, when something is gone, when something has no more life, sometimes we try to resurrect it, We try to put some more paper and kindling and everything in there and see if we can light this again. But this is completely spent. It's just nothing but charcoal and ash. And if you're in this stage, everything's starting to cool down. It's becoming quiet, dormant. There's no crackling anymore, no flame. And you know that it's time to really just close the door on whatever this is in your life. And let it be done. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me for this wonderful fire meditation. I hope that it was helpful, that you saw a part of yourself in this. And please share with me what came forward. What stage are you at? Are you at that kindling stage, just trying to get something going? Are you trying to get it to the stage where you have a bed of coals and you can really set that foundation and put a larger log on and kind of walk away and do other things? You don't have to tend it so closely. Or are you at the stage where it's beginning to wind down? You just have a few logs burning, you know that you're on to something else. Or are you in the stage where the ashes have completely burned down and then you're ready to then become the phoenix that rises from those ashes and creates that new spark, that new flame, that new fire? Just let me know where you are in this. I hope this was really helpful. I hope that it also taught you that meditation isn't just sitting on a cushion, saying Om, quieting your mind. If you love that, please do that. But if that's not for you, then maybe looking around you at just normal, everyday things that you're doing and how they can be a meditative space, how they can bring you into a deeper sense of yourself and bring you calm and stability.